Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. As always, we have security. We're kind of keeping out the head of the studio now at this point. And I'm paying out of my own pocket, which is really like just it's draining. But we got security here. Happy to have it. We're gonna get right into this.
Dan.
Are you serious?
Come on,
Colin.
we can't. We talked about this.
Colin.
You're gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble. There's no winners here. We can't do this. Come on.
This is okay. All right. Again, we can't have anything that's not Karate Kid on the table. Nick, I don't know what's going on. I've called, I've texted, I've called the studio. Every time I call, Justin says you're not available. Colin says you're not available. I'm still getting stuff pulled off my table. Nick, just talk to me. That's all I just would appreciate that. But anyways, we're gonna let this go. My guest this week, Matty Rosa. Welcome to the show, Matty.
Thank you for having me, brother.
It's a pleasure to have you, man. I know.
Pleasure to be here.
I know you're excited about this. I'm excited about this. Let's get to know you a little bit.
All right.
Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Nashville, New Hampshire. From I think 6 years old, we moved here from Boston, and I lived on Exit 8 Nashua, and then I think we moved to like Exit 4, like around like 9 or 10 or so, and then been here ever since Nashua. I love it.
Where in Boston? So you grew up like how many years in Boston? You said when you were 6? Or?
Yeah, well, no, I don't really remember much from it.
Okay.
Like, my sister just told me this the other day. I was talking to her, and I was like, so how long did we live over there, and when did we move? Oh, So it might have actually been earlier than that. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 or something. And then we moved to Nashville, and then ever since, we've been here, and yeah, it's been great. I love Nashville. It's the best.
Very awesome, very awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we want to know this. Big question we ask everybody. What's 3 things that everybody should know about you?
Oh, boy. I mean, I love the game. I'm a gamer. I love watching UFC fights, MMA. And I like playing sports from time to time,
Okay.
Getting a little dirty.
Now, when you say gamer, what do you mean by that? Is this video games thing?
So I started off with the PlayStation 1, and then I went up, got the PS2, and then now I'm on to the PS5, and couldn't be happier.
Now, do you have the headset on and trash talking each other?
Oh yeah, dude. Anybody who's a gamer probably remembers the Call of Duty lobbies back in the day. I mean, that was the epitome of trash talk. Ever since, and then when Halo came out, that was a whole thing in itself, and that was great. But yeah, headset up, get in there gaming. I'm playing right now this game called Hell Let Loose, and it's a World War II shooter, but it's super strategic. So if you guys heard about it and haven't tried it yet, definitely try it. It's they've got roles and everything like that, and it's super oriented with that. If you don't hold up to your role, you're gonna lose.
Are you on a team?
Yeah.
When you do that? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's 50 on 50.
Okay.
And they got their commanders, they got their assault engineers, they got medics and stuff like that. I'm usually a medic. And then they got a bunch of other different roles and stuff like that, but it's really cool, and you've got to stick to what you're doing on there. You're going to get mopped.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know
fun
much.
game.
I stopped playing video games at Sega.
Yeah.
So when people say they're a gamer,
Hey, that was a good system, though.
I knew how to do that. Probably, but I was really good at Sports Talk Baseball '93.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the end of. I quit video games when my brother Bobby, my little younger brother, beat me in Mortal Kombat. I remember throwing the controller and be like, "That's it, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore." And I really haven't played video games since.
Yeah.
I did do the Wii a little bit.
Yeah.
Or Rock Band.
That was a fun one. I think that I'm not sure. Was that the one where they introduced the
you play
motions?
Tennis. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could cheat.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not really doing the motions here. But
now they leveled up. They've got the VR, and that's just intense.
Yeah.
I was at my buddy's house one night. We had went out to the bars, and then we ended up at his house later on, and then he was like, yeah, man, you got to try this thing. So I was like, all right, cool. So I put this thing on my head, And this thing's, VR. And we're playing this Spider-Man game. And I'm on top of a roof. And I look down and I'm like, oh my God, it fully immerses you. And you I actually got like anxiety. And then I fell off the building and I fell off the couch. And I was like, oh my God, like I gotta take this thing off. It was super like, oh man, grabs you.
It's
Gets
crazy
you.
advanced at this point.
I
It
know,
has to
yeah.
be,
I
like-
haven't even messed with any VR since.
Now, what was VR stand? Oh, virtual reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
It's crazy. I don't even I know that now they've got like horror games and stuff like that, and I'm like, dude, easy way to get PTSD. You go and slap on one of those and play a horror game. I can't even imagine.
I might be all set. I love horror movies, but I don't know if I actually want to be in it. All right, here's sticking with the theme of the show, which is Let Freedom Ring. We ask everybody this question.
Yes,
and
sir.
This is the big one.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to be an American?
Ooh, to be an American. Wow. I mean, America is such a beautiful place. It gives you the access to be who you want with no restrictions. You can chase whichever dream you imagine. It's, the land of the free. It's, and I think it's just the land of opportunities. There's a lot more freedom here than, a lot of places. And, it's just, I feel like that's like my idea of America. It's just very free and, you can be what you want.
No, I like that answer, and we get all different types.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I do think it is a land of opportunity.
Yeah.
It can be tougher for others.
Yeah,
some people
for sure.
start on third base, and some people start in the bleachers.
Oh, you're not kidding. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, no, but good answer. We got some fan questions. We're gonna get into a bunch of stuff here.
For sure.
From Daniel Scaffus.
Oh, yeah.
Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
He's just saying killing it.
Killing
Sounds
it.
like he's really. I mean, when we promoted the show, he looked really good in that picture.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you, man. I know me and my girl took we had a photo shoot that day. And my picture prior to that, I was on this my nephew had this little Power Wheel thing. And I was just on it, being goofy. And I was like, yeah, maybe I might switch it up. Give him a little professionalism. Let me, post a picture of me in my suit. So that's probably to date the nicest picture I have on there. So I hope you enjoy. And so Daniel, I've known him for about close to 10 years. He worked over at my current job over in Tewksbury.
Okay.
And I used to see him around campus all the time. So I got acquainted with him there. And man, what an awesome kid. I love Daniel. He's a straight shooter. Really cool kid. Humble, respectable. He's really cool.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy. We got a wedding this weekend for my buddy John Nagel. I think we're going to be meeting him.
Yeah.
For the first time there.
Oh,
So.
nice.
John Maskin wants to know, and you know John Maskin.
Yeah, yes, I do.
Which it's just crazy how everybody kind of knows each other.
Yeah,
it's how does this person know this person? And,
yeah, it's a small world, man, and everybody within this general area, it's out of their friend groups, it's somebody over there. It's I know you, I know you.
He wants to know what is the biggest obstacle you've had to hurdle in your life?
I would say currently, I think the biggest obstacle is my mother passing.
I did see that. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I've never dealt with anything like that so heartfelt and heavy. Kind of made me have to learn to, navigate differently. I realized after her passing how much of a clutch she was in my life. And, now that she's not there, it was I had to kind of refigure and go about things differently, on the weekends, whenever my girlfriend works on and off on the weekends, so every other weekend. And any time that I had off, I was always with my mother. So I found myself, not knowing what to do, and it was just like it kind of slew into like this little depression because it's like, man, she was my best friend. I talked to her every week, every day. She worked where I worked too,
Oh,
so I saw
wow.
her every day,
Yeah,
and I used
yeah.
to go out to lunch with her. So it was just kind of learning to navigate without her because it was like, she was my best friend and my mother, and I'm used to having her around every day, and not having that around. She was the only one I really talked to on the phone. Her and like my buddy Raul. And I swear those were like the only people like I really like on a Monday through Friday. I catch up with all my buddies and everything like that. You all know. And but like consistently, I was always talking to her, and if I was at her house, I was she'd give me the love I didn't know I needed to keep on going. So it was just kind of learning to um, implement that love to myself without her there. So giving myself like positive affirmations when I'm feeling down, or trying to not harbor feelings. Or she was just like a really good person to talk to anytime you were going through anything rough, or just feeling good. She was just all around just awesome. So that would be the biggest obstacle I think I've been dealt with to date. Currently, to date, I'm doing a lot better than I was last month and the month prior. Um, yeah, just learning to really kind of navigate, on my own in a sense.
It's difficult. I know a lot of people who lost parents, and it's like I know how my dad was when he lost his mom. Now he was
Yeah.
a lot older.
Yeah.
My parents are still here. Like I can't imagine it. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
I think
bless.
until you cross it,
Yeah.
you really don't know how to feel or what to expect.
Yeah, it's not anything that could ever prepare you for that. It's like one of those things. I was actually just talking to somebody on the phone about that the other day. And that it was like you don't really know until like people say that all the time,
Yeah.
whether you're playing a sport or doing something, but this is just truly one of those things where it's like it's hard to put yourself into that realm, because once you're dealt with that situation where it pulled on your heart, and like that's only a feeling you can feel when it happens. And I, you know, I know that, we're all not making it out of this alive,
Yeah.
but you always just wish for a little more time. So,
Yeah.
if you still have your parents around, shower them with love. And, if you don't already, I'm, not going to preach to the choir here, but, it's definitely a blessing to have your parents about.
No, for sure. And we've had guests on the show before. It says, there's nothing, it's not money, it's not possessions. The most valuable thing on this planet is time.
Yeah.
And
you can't buy a minute back.
You can't.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing we can't do anything
Yeah,
with.
it's like, no matter how much money you got, you can't buy that minute,
Totally agree there.
For sure.
So I appreciate you sharing that. That's definitely very difficult, and I know you're a strong guy and holding up.
Yes, sir.
So.
And for anybody who is going through it, it gets better.
Want to talk a little bit of some UFC things here?
Yes, sir.
We got another question from Chris Lind. Now, one thing I just got to say on Let Freedom Ring, we answer the questions here. Now, I was like, Matty, I was deleted. I was like, no, we got to answer it on the show.
I know.
I
read that text from you, and I was like, oh, yeah.
But what is your honest thoughts on, I don't even know, Yuri?
Yuri Prohaska.
Okay, Yuri, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I know, it's one of those, like, silent, letters. It's like, all right, yeah, it's not how it sounds, but, But, so, what was the question again?
What are your honest thoughts on this fighter?
So, and this was from Chris Lind?
Chris Lind, yep.
So, Chris Lind, my honest opinion is that I think that he is a very different fighter. The pace he puts on people is very different, especially in that division. And I think, he's willing to die in there, which makes him a very dangerous opponent. The negatives, I would say, are probably he keeps his hands low and his position of attack might get him in trouble one day. I don't know how long he'll be the champ, but he's very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Is he the heavyweight champion right now? Or
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, I'm behind.
Yeah. Oh well. Light heavy.
Oh, light heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
he was in my opinion he was losing the fight until like the last 30 seconds, and then he pulled off a submission. So now he's going to rematch Glover, which I in my honest opinion, I'm a big fan of Glover Teixeira. I think he's going to retain the title. Not, I don't want to, sound like too negative or nothing, but like, I'm a fan of, I'm a bigger fan of Glover than I am Yuri, and I think he has it in order to take it back.
See, I've fallen behind.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm one of the UFC fans. It's like Conor McGregor's fighting. He talks all this trash. I want to watch this
But it's
fight.
always entertaining to watch those fights, right? Because it's like, it's going to come with some trash talk. Somebody's going to get offended. And, it's one of those things that it captivates you. You almost can't help but watch.
Well, it's no secret I'm a professional wrestling fan.
Yeah.
So when you hype up a fight like that, I'm getting giddy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, the
For
trash
sure.
talking to each other. Like, let's do this. It makes me want to just buy that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
More than I would want to if it was just like, yep, I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do want to talk about some other stuff because you've done some MMA training, correct?
I have, yeah. Yes.
Because I know we did a hike last year, and you're saying that you did some MMA stuff. So,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is pretty cool. What's the training like?
So, it's I trained over at Gate City MMA with Nuri Shakir. If you guys or anybody was looking to, he's got a youth class and for adults, and so it's very it's kind of grueling. It's not like any other sport. It's like there's a lot of body to body action going on, and that's just a different kind of pressure. And you've got to deal with that, and then you've got your strength and conditioning days, and those can wipe you. Pending if you have a fight coming up, which I've never fought. I've competed in like grappling tournaments, and I've done like some smokers and stuff like that. And smokers are kind of like you go to someone else's gym with their guys, and you just
Mix
kind
it
of
up.
have like a not like a mock fight, but like you kind of go in there and you compete, but not like you're not trying to knock each other out, But depending on who you are, it can happen. Oh, sorry.
We do have a guest in here as well. That,
Yes, sorry.
No, as you were saying.
So it is like it's very it's different from a lot of sports, but it's also super educational, man. Like you learn your body in ways that a lot of things couldn't teach you. Like throughout MMA, I learned how to properly stretch and when to and to like stay hydrated and to eat better. It taught me a lot about food, nutrition, and just like keeping up with your health and stuff like that. So it was this big door that opened that it honestly it taught me a lot about life.
Were you into because I was a wrestler growing up. Were you into wrestle? Did you wrestle at all or any karate stuff, or was this just something like later in life that you're like, I kind of want to take a stab at this?
Yeah. So I had a friend that used to train, and we were all friends growing up. I've known him since elementary, and he would always just smoke us every time we'd start wrestling or whatever. So it was always in the back of my mind. I always just tell him, I'm gonna start training, man. I'm gonna get back at you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get you. And then one day I think I was 20. Yeah, I was 20, and I went down with him one day and checked it out, and I loved it. First day, and then I did that throughout my 20s, like mid 20s, like kind of like on and off, and then now I don't train at all. But I still aspire to get back in there one day and mix it up and start training again. It keeps you in like pristine shape, and it's just like keeps you up to par with your hand-eye coordination,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just it's good for you. And yeah.
Now I know you said you hadn't had any like fights like probably to the public. Did you have any like in practice, like any good, when I was a wrestler, we'd have some battles in the wrestling room.
Oh yeah.
Did you have any ones that you
Oh
was
yeah,
just going at each other?
some of your biggest competition you'll meet in training, especially when fighters were gearing up for fights. We'd call them heart rounds. You'd go in there and you'd kind of put it on just to get the acclimate to the pressure and what you're going to be dealing with in an actual fight. So in those instances, you'll hop in the cage and it's kind of no bar.
Is there actually
like,
a cage at the practices?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
okay, all
And you
right.
get in there with like whoever's fighting coming up, and whether you're doing a Shark Tank or you're doing, getting in your rounds. But there's a time when things aren't as grueling before someone's fight. It's kind of like repetition and drilling, and then when somebody's got a fight coming up and you're helping them train for a fight, they do a lot of heart rounds. Things start kind of honing into gear, and yeah, it gets a lot more serious when somebody's fighting
And
coming.
it is now like, okay, so there's a fight scheduled. You got someone from your gym. Is everybody just getting behind that person and like, because I don't know if you ever seen like Rocky, where like
Yeah.
the gym is like all except they weren't behind Rocky, but they're behind the other fighters. Like, does everybody like show up and go watch their fight or whatever?
Oh yeah,
it
the
is?
support system is crazy big in MMA. Like you've got like oh, and like they've got like so for instance, it's like if somebody was training for a fight and you're like a week out, like you kind of take it easy on that week, right? So people start popping in the gym more, start watching, and like if the fighter is taking his rest week but still working on drilling, still he gets a minute to catch up and sell tickets and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people coming in and out of the gym. And then when you go to the fight, it's just like it's so much fun. It's like, but when your friend is going up and it's time to fight,
You probably
it's
get the anxiety
nerve-wracking.
that they, yeah.
Yeah, you get wicked anxiety. You're just sitting there like, oh my god, like because you're wishing for the best, and even if this, your friend is gonna steamroll somebody, you're still wicked nervous because, I mean, MMA one shot can change anything, and I mean like in any combat sport, it just takes one, so whether you're, polished, you could still get caught. So it's, you always have that in the back of your mind when your friend is going to compete. And speaking of friends competing, I don't know if you know Jay Perrin.
Sounds familiar.
He just got into the UFC, and
wow.
he's got a fight on the 20th. And speaking of like support, that's one of those things where I'm gonna have at my house, and I'll shoot you an invite. We're
Yeah.
probably gonna have a fire out back, and then like
Okay.
have the big screen outside.
Yeah.
And he's fighting on August 20th. I think it's on the Usman Leon Edwards card, and I think he might be a prelim. Yeah, he's on the prelims, and I think that's from 8 till 10 o'clock. But man,
That's huge.
it's
He's
huge.
He's from here?
Yeah, he's
Wow.
he's from
Okay.
here. He's currently living in Vegas right now.
Okay.
And training at Syndicate MMA, which is a really renowned gym. Really good fighters come out of there, and he's getting training with some of the top tier guys. So it's pretty cool, and I'm really excited to watch him. So if you are a UFC fan, tune in August 20th to watch Jay Perrin. You won't regret it.
No, that's awesome because I know we've had some local people fight Bellator.
Yes.
But that's still like the I'm not crapping on Bellator or
Yeah.
anything, but that second rate towards
yeah.
the UFC is like it's like MLB and I don't know what leagues.
Yeah,
I'm not
man.
saying the Bellator is the minors, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, the UFC when they see someone, they're gonna scoop them up.
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
gonna take them and pay them more money.
Oh, for
You
sure.
know?
Yeah. It's like And in terms of like viewers, you know, like I think that UFC is just like they're so surpassed because they hold, I forget the amount of events they have a year, but they blow most other, you know, MMA competition out of the water. They're global.
They were ahead of
So,
the game. Like I
yeah.
remember when UFC first started in like 96, 97.
Yeah.
I remember all there was politicians against it.
Yeah.
Saying we can't have this because this was like this was like it was raw back then.
Yeah.
There were no rules, were this and that. Now it's really and back then, to be honest, didn't feel like it. Like I'm not saying anything against Ken Shamrock, but in his day, it wasn't like it is today.
Yeah.
You know, these are legit. Like it's become, I guess, a full sport, not just two guys just trying to punch each other to death.
Oh yeah,
or
and
whatnot.
it like and even the training, everything, like the sport is evolving in so many facets aside from just like catching the global eye, you know? Like you're seeing fighters come in there and their technique is like sound because of all the experienced fighters that, you know, either retired or are still, you know, going forth with their careers, but like even fighting in itself is evolving because it's getting sharper, it's getting cleaner, and you know we're in with the future. It's just going to get greater and greater, and I can't wait to see where the UFC is going to be, and even 5 years from now, they are like the you know, they're like the NFL now. You know, they're just they're up there. They're major.
And they're selling pay-per-views. I mean, honestly, I when I watch, I want to see the wrestlers.
Yeah.
That's why I like Khabib.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember that fight going, Conor McGregor doesn't stand a chance. He's going to take him down. Conor can strike, but Khabib can wrestle.
Yeah.
And he just kept taking him down and taking him down until he won the fight.
And that's been a major thing. Like wrestlers, they come from a different cloth, man. They're you know, you'll have like some you know, the wrestlers, they're just their grind and pace is just so much, is so intense, you know, and from where they're, you know, what cloth they were cut from, it's like, you know, their grind in and out, and they're like some of the most gritty dudes out there, you know. When you're fighting a wrestler, it's like you better have your T's crossed, you know.
Yeah. I'm always gonna be biased to that because that was my favorite sport.
How did you feel with like some of the wrestlers that transitioned into like Brock Lesnar or like CM Punk? Did you like?
Well, CM Punk wasn't because I'm a big wrestling fan.
Yeah.
When we talk wrestling, CM Punk is not a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Brock was a national champion.
Yeah. You did wrestling?
Yeah, I'm talking.
Nice.
I started wrestling when I was in third grade. So,
no kidding.
And I ended up coaching it for a while and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I also love professional wrestling,
Yeah.
but I know there's a big difference between the two.
Yeah.
When CM Punk signed to the UFC, I go, this is silly. He's a performer.
Yeah.
What's he gonna? He's not. And I was right.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar came into WWE. He was a national wrestling champion.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
You knew Brock could be successful once he was taught. When
Yeah.
Punk signed, I said, this is stupid. This is just to sell pay-per-views.
Yeah.
There's no way he could win a fight. He's not a fighter. He's a entertainer.
Yeah.
You know, so...
Yeah.
I'm biased.
And let me just clarify, there is like a major difference between wrestlers and wrestling on TV. Because like you said, you know, Brock Lesnar, he's got some accolades, you know?
Yeah.
Coming into it, it was like, you know, like a lot of wrestlers transition into fighting, going into MMA. And they're pretty successful, most of them.
I will say, when I first started wrestling, like, again, the two differences, wrestling, there was a tag team called the Steiner Brothers.
Yeah.
And I knew they were actual wrestlers from Michigan. And that was part of why I wanted to be a wrestler, was because I wanted to be like the Steiner Brothers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I do want to ask this. Celtics, tonight, can they win this one?
They can. I'm not huge into basketball, but you know, for the you know, the playoffs and like the big games, I'll tune in from time to time. I thought that they could win the game before, when they first came in with the Warriors, and I think they could pull it off tonight. They lost the last game, right?
Yeah, they did, but it's in Boston tonight, so
home turf.
let's go.
Let's go.
I want to go to that parade if it happens. I mean, I don't watch as close as I used to, but you know, this is Boston. This is our region.
Yeah.
Like, I want this to happen.
Yep.
A game I am going to this weekend. The Free Jacks play in New York in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Nice.
Major League Rugby.
Okay.
Do you think this can work in the United States? Obviously, I always get the Free Jacks. I give them the shout out. I want this win. I want to win this. Do you think it can work here in the United States?
I think it could. Rugby is a very gritty sport. When I first got clued into it, I think I was a fan of MMA, hockey, and then I got tuned into rugby. And rugby is brutal. I think that'll bring a lot of viewers, and I think it would do great in the United States.
The crowds are actually doing, like, because in Quincy, that's where the Free Jacks played. They're not small crowds. Like, they're decent size.
Yeah.
I played in college. The reason I got so into the team was there's this guy, Cam, that's playing for them this year that played for Plymouth State.
Yeah.
And I was like, and the games were actually televised this year. He actually got most popular player of the year.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in. So hopefully they can get it done this weekend, and we're taking down New York.
Yeah,
It's happening.
that's it.
Free Jacks.
Whatever
are going to the
team he's
championship.
going with, I'm going with too. Let's
Right
go.
here, right here. All right, I got some top fives for you.
All
got
right.
some really good ones here.
Okay.
Top 5 professional wrestlers of all time, in your opinion.
Now wrestling, like
We're talking
WWE.
We're talking WWE. We're talking
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it this way, because there is no actual professional wrestling, like, of wrestling.
Yeah.
This is where it gets confusing. They all call it amateur wrestling, but
Yeah.
they should be pros. There's just not an audience for it.
Yeah.
So when we say professional wrestling, we are talking WWE, AEW, TNA, Impact Wrestling, whatever they call it, Ring of Honor. So top 5 professional wrestlers.
I would go with, I gotta go with Goldust. He was
In the
one of my
top-
favorites to see.
And we've talked about this.
This is
Yeah.
a coincidence.
Yeah.
Cause he just, for some reason, back in the day, watching him on TV, I saw him go, spit that gold, and then bang,
Yeah.
he just hit. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, that's my dude right there.
Yeah.
You know, like, I would go with Goldust. He's just,
He did like my post where I said, I don't understand because it's Dustin Rhodes or Dustin Reynolds. I said, I don't understand why you blocked me. It was just a Halloween costume. It wasn't supposed to be disrespectful.
did you actually get blocked? Is it he?
I've been blocked since 2013.
Oh
But
my
he made
God.
a post on Facebook, and I just said, I am a huge fan of the Rhodes family.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
I've met Cody Rhodes. I said, your brother was I don't understand what happened here. And Cody's like one of the best. If you're ever going to meet a professional wrestler, Cody Rhodes is the guy to meet, because or Mick Foley. I met them both.
Okay.
I love the Rhodes family. Goldust, I don't know why you did that. I'm glad
I'm
that
blocking Goldust.
we kind of squashed. I just don't. He probably blocks a lot of people.
Yeah,
So
I'm figuring it's one of those, because if he actually knew you, he don't
it was just it was a Halloween costume. That's all it was. You
Well,
know?
good thing he didn't see my Halloween costume. I was talking to you, and you were like, I think you were saying, send me a picture. And I think you were going to attend that one, were you?
Maybe.
Or something?
Yeah.
And, man, I put on a bandana. I painted my face gold. I put the black around the eyes. And, dude, I was trying to get my hands on some gold dust so I could just start blowing at people, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't work out that way. But I did find a little bag of gold coins, so I just started handing those to people, and they were chocolate. So I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. All right. What are your other 4?
I'd have to go with was it Bret?
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
Okay.
Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And let me see.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio. And probably Triple H.
Okay. We had Triple H on the table until Colin came in here and ripped him off. But all right, now
Wasn't he local in Nashville?
he's from
for a
Triple
long
H.
time
Paul
ago?
Levesque is from Nashville, New Hampshire. Yeah.
Nice. Shout out.
He is retired now. It was a serious health concern. I know he's got a thing in his chest now.
Okay.
WrestleMania this year, he put his boots in the ring. It was like, I can never wrestle.
Yeah,
again.
hung it up. Yeah.
Which is like, man, time flies.
Yeah.
I
So
feel
fast.
I feel like I was a kid watching him when he turned, I don't know, I think he turned like, they made a big deal. He turned like 27.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like 27 was so old.
Yeah.
And then now I'm 10 years older than that. And Triple H is retired.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I know. I used to think in my, in my early 20s, I'm like, oh man, imagine what, how everything's going to change once you get into your 30s, and you look around, so many retirements, so many, it's crazy because it feels like it was yesterday,
It really does.
You see some of these, like, these icons on TV that are just like, oh my God, you're hanging it up, like, like,
except for Tom Brady. The guy, he's immortal. I
Yeah,
don't,
that's it, man.
It's like,
his whole thing to longevity is just drink your water.
yeah.
I think his whole thing is like Kagan water or something. It's
Yeah.
like
avocado toast and
Yeah.
whatever else he eats. Do you have a top 5 UFC fighters of all time?
Oh yes. I would say one of my number ones is Mark Hominick.
Okay.
To me, he was just so polished, very good stand-up, just an overall complete fighter. I liked Mark Hominick a lot. Actually, I can't believe I put him ahead of Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz is my number 1. Mark Hominick, I would say, is my number 2. Dominic Cruz is just, there's no other fighter like him. He's a one-of-one talent. And he's still fighting, which is amazing. I think he's got a fight coming up. I think he might be fighting Chito Vera. So I'm definitely going to be tuning into that one. Number 3, I would go, let's see, probably Kamaru Usman.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of my upcoming favorites. He's just gritty. He was a wrestler too. Gritty, puts a pace on people, is got one of the best jabs in the game. And he's just very tough, very tough. 4, I would say, I would go with Frankie Edgar. He's just another wrestler too. Pushes the pace. Very complete fighter. He's also a one-of-one talent in my eyes. Yeah, he puts a pace on. And I would say number 5 is Calvin Kattar. He just hopped into that list. That guy is a brute. He's a local too. I think he's from Methuen.
Okay.
He's going to be fighting Josh Emmett. And I think that's this month or next month. But he's fighting very soon. Clue into him if you don't know already. Calvin Kattar, he's a local fighter too, so that's even better.
See, that's how I know you're a true fan, because a lot of these names, I know the big names.
Yeah.
You're throwing out names that I'm not recognizing. I'm like, that's a real fan of something.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, man. I've been watching that for a long time.
And I know you like boxing too. If you had to pick who are the best boxers of all time, and we probably know what this list is, but
yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's a number 1 in a lot of eyes, but Muhammad Ali.
yeah,
I love him. He's my number 1 all day, all day. And I would say my next favorite has got to be Vasily Lomachenko. That guy is just so diverse. There's nobody like him. He's a really, really, really good fighter. Amazing footwork, like I've never seen on any fighter. Even in the UFC, he's got some footwork to marvel at. I would say I am a big fan of Teofimo Lopez.
okay,
He just lost to Kambosos and lost all the the belts, which in turn just lost to Devin Haney, which was a really good fight. I don't know if anybody clued into that one, but that was a great fight. I can't wait to see either Ryan Garcia go up against Haney or Kambosos or Tank. I think Tank is a big problem, though. He's another one of my favorites, too. Tank, oh my God. Tank Davis. I'm forgetting his first name. But he's awesome. I love watching him.
You think does Tyson fall into your top 5 at all?
Oh yeah. You know, Tyson is definitely, and I mean, I just love the dude. He's just, he's entertaining to me. Yeah, he's definitely in there for sure.
I feel like if he had it more together in his youth, he might have gone on to be like the greatest of all time. He just came out and just knocked people out. And then,
Oh yeah,
you
and
know.
I didn't know this, and I found this out later in life that he actually had like asthma or something.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I'm like, I look at some of these fighters that have asthma, and I'm like, you can never tell. Like, they put on one heck of a performance, you know?
That celebrity
gotta
boxing fight he did, he goes, what are you giving him credit for? I haven't fought 30 or 25 years. I'm like, he hasn't. He still looks built.
Yeah.
And don't give him crap on an airplane.
Yeah.
You know?
I know, I saw that pop up on the tabloids.
I'm
and I'm
like,
like,
dude.
oh boy, that... Honestly, I thought that kid had it coming. I mean...
What? So Mike's got to sit there and just take it while he's just trying to fly, you know? Like...
And then people pull the card, oh, he's a professional fighter. Oh, it's just like, well, you gotta... have some discipline somewhere down
Play
there.
stupid
so if your
games,
parents
get
didn't
stupid
teach you,
prizes.
Mike Tyson will.
Yeah.
Don't mess with him.
If I'm on a plane with Mike Tyson, I say, Mike, can I please get a picture with you?
Yeah.
That's all I want. I will not say another word to you. And if he says yes to that, you leave him alone.
Yeah.
You don't get wasted on the plane and start hitting his seat. And,
Oh my God, that's one way to. That's a hospital visit right there.
That video is hilarious.
Crazy.
Do you have a top 5 favorite movies?
Yeah. I would say my number 1 is probably War of the Worlds.
Okay.
I love that movie.
Tom Cruise one?
Tom Cruise, yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorites. I've always been fascinated with like, outer space and like if something exists, you know? And I thought that was a cool little introduction to how nasty things could possibly get. I hope one day if they ever do reveal themselves, it's not anything like that. But,
I feel like if they got here, they're more advanced than us, and it's gonna be one of those like,
it's either they've been here for a long time, they just have an evasive way of going about
unless
things.
we've been somewhere at some point where I know it's hard to keep hush hush with humans because everybody talks, but what if we've been colonizing places?
Yeah, what if we're the aliens?
We don't know. We really don't know.
Yeah, there could be like I think what is it, the James Webb Hubble scope?
Yeah.
I think it finally reaches its destination this month if it hasn't already. And that's been opening up an array of different things. So you look in the sky, see a bunch of stars, and just one of those stars, zoomed in is like another galaxy like ours. And there's billions of them. And for us to think that we're the only, life around here, there's got to be another civilization with crazy technology who's probably...
or they're just like us and they're like, how do we get out of here?
Yeah.
We can't,
like we're on a floating rock.
Like whoever finds who first, the people that are found, or life forms, they're screwed. Because the other one's going to colonize.
Yeah.
That's how our whole world has worked the whole time.
Hopefully they're just like looking for like friends. Hey, let's see if anybody would want to have a barbecue.
Well, I'll say this, and I don't want, because I do want to get the rest of your movies. I want to get to Blank First Blank, but I will say this: why would you search for other planets unless there was something wrong with your planet? There's really no reason at this. Well, we're at global warming, I guess.
Yeah.
We're not really looking for that. Now, let's say there's some other beings out there. Their whole thing would be, if they were going to come here, I don't want to scare people. We're not saying this even exists. It'd be for resources, like everything else that's happened in our world. since the beginning of time.
Oh my.
You want the resources, that's where you go to war.
Yeah.
They found us, we're screwed. We find them, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because if they have the technology to, go
Get
from
here.
planet to planet,
Yeah.
we're very screwed.
Game over.
And I hope
Game over.
that it just happens with welcome arms.
Yeah.
And that if there is different species out there, there is a kind one just overwatching that's like, hey, don't do that. Leave these guys alone. They're building.
Listen, we're not going to mess with you guys unless you mess with us, or unless we find you first.
I think what was it? Elon Musk says that he's going to colonize Mars by which was it? 2035
and do what with it?
or something?
Yeah, and do what with it?
I don't know.
You know?
They're speculating that there's
no good planets
there's
besides ours in this
water
galaxy.
underneath the crust. So if there is, I guess that's a start. I mean, we haven't mined it, so we don't know what they have for minerals. Maybe we could use that to further our technology to get to different. I don't know the end game there, but colonizing that planet is going to be hard.
Let's be straight up. The rest of the planets in our solar system suck.
Yeah.
Okay? We don't want anything to do with those. There's nothing there. We want to find the ones that are like Earth.
Yeah. It's like, give me a beach. Give me a nice beach.
And then we take them over.
Yeah.
Or they take us over. We don't know what's going to happen.
I could put a nice tiki bar out on that planet.
All right, we're short on time, so we're going to go into blank versus blank, though.
Okay.
That was a good conversation on that. I love it. We're going to get two things. You got to pick one. You got to tell us why.
All right, cool.
All right, we're going to bring it back to Gold Dust because I know that we want
back to Gold Dust. Let's do it.
Or his brother Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
You got to pick one. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Gold Dust all day.
Because
how humiliating would it be to get some gold blown on your face and then get hit with a
He was a very controversial character when he first started.
Yeah.
Because they were playing off like this, like the homophobia, basically.
Yeah.
Even though Goldust was never actually, he just played that card, even though the character actually wasn't gay or anything like that. A lot of questionable things, which was, it's when you're 12 years old and you're watching wrestling and you got Goldust feeling up the leg of Roddy Piper through his kilt and your dad walks in and goes, what the hell are you watching?
what is going on here?
That's hard to explain. Why am I letting my kids watch this?
Yeah. And in that, I'm happy how far we've come.
Yeah.
For it to be just that much more acceptable.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you look at it and it's just like, all right, you go, boy.
Yeah.
And I think that he was definitely a figure in his era, for sure. He stood out the most to me just because of his, persona.
Yeah.
Like, there was nobody doing it like him.
No, they played off, he was the heel. They were playing off the homophobia that was going on in the country. Now, I mean, it is Pride Month and everything like that. And we always say that Let Freedom Ring is for everybody.
Yes.
There's so many gay wrestlers that are open and have no problem, and everybody loves them.
Yeah.
So.
Like they should,
Yeah.
And they can compete with the best of them. They can do, it's if there was a stigma or anything.
You couldn't use
I
that.
hope that nowadays it just shows you that we're all one and equal, and this is just
that gimmick would not work today because people would be like, so what?
Yeah. Like you see somebody like in a costume, for instance. It's like, I thought his costume was funny, man.
Yeah.
Like he was a prize winner.
Brilliant character, brilliant heel. Some of the stuff, when you're a kid watching, you go, there was a lot of good stuff. They did with
for
it.
sure.
Great heel.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar or Tito Ortiz? Would you rather watch a Brock Lesnar fight or Tito?
I would much rather watch a Brock Lesnar fight. He was he was an intense fighter. He was all or nothing. When he was like when he came onto the MMA scene, he became champion within the first year. Like he was pretty impressive.
So sloppy in his first fight, and then he figured it out.
Mm-hmm. If those two ever fought, I know they're different weight classes.
It wouldn't be.
Yeah,
But Tito was like the guy that was the most entertaining before all these other guys.
Yeah.
Because you talk trash.
Yeah, he was that guy. He was
Yeah.
like your Conor McGregor.
Seriously?
You know? Like he talked a lot of trash, and I remember when him and Chuck Liddell had that feud, and I was pro Chuck Liddell. They recently just fought, and he KO'd him, and I was sitting there like, no.
As old, I mean, they're old guys.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
Those fights.
I'm sure he's walking off with this one like, damn it, I should have just left it where, you know.
They had like Kimbo
should've just
Slice
left
one
it
time
alone.
fight Ken Shamrock on Spike TV, and I go, some of these fights, like these guys. Well, Kimbo Slice, R.I.P., was never in his prime.
Yeah.
He was a street fighter.
Yeah.
And they kind of taught him some
Oh,
stuff.
Kimbo was so gritty.
You know, but here's a really tough one. We ask everybody this. It's your first time on the show, so I gotta ask.
Yes, sir.
More responsible for the success of the New England Patriots for the last 20 years, Brady or Belichick?
Brady. Honestly, I think after he retires, I hope he becomes the coach of the Patriots. Imagine. I mean, I think that the switch kind of showed people that it wasn't all Belichick, you know? I think that dynamic duo was monstrous. I mean, they tore up the whole league. I mean, we were champions for how many years in a row?
Well, we won the AFC East almost every single year. We got
Yeah.
6 Super Bowls out of it. I don't even know how many AFC championships. There was a lot of winning.
Yes.
A lot of winning.
And I hear now the Falcon?
Bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bucks. Oops. That he does semi-coaching on that too.
Right, there's a reason.
in compensation
Bruce
of
Arians, you pissed Tom Brady off. Oh,
Yeah.
I retired. Yeah, I'm sure you did.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? I think he's got the ability to coach and play. I think he's like I wouldn't say, you know, a one-man army, but I don't think it was all Belichick. I think them two together, they definitely put a show on. And now that he's gone, you know, it's just kind of finding what's the next best thing, you know?
I know Mac's been working hard, so I can't wait to see him.
Yeah. I like him as a quarterback so far.
I love Mac Jones.
Yeah.
I want to win. I want to win with him.
I know, right?
You know.
Yeah. I've been watching a little more football lately. I think that's, you know, I've been kind of, because Dags, we used to live together.
Yeah.
And, man, the football Sundays were epic, man. We used to throw the, you know, the wings on,
Yeah.
get some beer, get a bunch of friends over. And, like, I think he got me into that. So, like, when we moved apart, I was like, I started having like this knacking to actually go on football Sundays and enjoy. I mean, whether you're a fan or not, it's still fun to just indulge with your buddies and have a few beers, have a barbecue. Football Sundays come with everything you need.
Yeah.
So enjoy yourself.
It's an event every Sunday, which is
It's an event.
That's why I love football.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a musical question.
For sure.
Dave Grohl has been in 2 bands.
Mm-hmm.
Recently lost a drummer to the Foo Fighters.
Yes.
But Nirvana or the Foo Fighters? Who'd you rather listen to?
Foo Fighters. I love them. They can get me going. They're, yeah, I love the Foo Fighters. Nirvana was great too. I actually have a guitar, and the only song, I can only play one song, and that's a Nirvana song. But I would like to learn something from the Foo Fighters, you know, that those guys are just. I love the Foo Fighters. I loved them ever since I was a little boy. So
I think Dave Grohl could make us like a case for being like in the top 10 musicians of all time.
Oh, for sure.
At the point that everything that he's done, it's like truly amazing.
Yeah.
He could have been dead in the water with Nirvana, and
Yeah.
he makes a band where he's the lead singer when he was the drummer.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
I pump him up a lot on the show. I know.
Oh well, hey, I'll support you with that. I love him too. I would love to catch one of their shows if they're ever.
If they ever play again.
Yeah.
You know.
I know.
All right, another musical one. Then I have the toughest one in blank versus blank.
Yes, sir.
Janet Jackson or Mariah Carey?
Oh.
I've been in love with both of them since I was a child. So.
Me too. And I think I have some Oh, man, Janet Jackson just reminds me of my mother so bad. She used to play her in the house cleaning up. Whitney Houston. But Mariah Carey, I think there's a lot more cult classics. I love Mariah Carey. A lot of her, she has some staples that just, get you going, So I think I'm going to lean with Mariah Carey.
Yeah, that's a hard question for me to answer too. I love Janet Jackson.
Me too.
I'm in love with Janet Jackson.
Me too.
I'm also in love with Mariah Carey. I don't care. I'm getting older. If I still had a chance with either one of them, I would.
Yeah.
Toughest one in blank versus blank. These are two friends of yours.
All right. Oh, I'm going to love this one.
Mike Daggs or Brandy Baker?
I'm going to go with Brandy Baker.
Oh, wow.
She's all around.
Daggs, you didn't
She's
even
all around.
You didn't get a shot there.
Yeah, Brandy Baker is the best. Shout out, girl.
Great softball
Much love.
player. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Brandy.
she's an awesome person.
And that's how we met.
So
I think
kind.
we all
Yeah,
went
that's
hiking.
when we all went on that hike.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a wicked fun hike. Well,
We had no idea.
We got a little
we
lost.
thought we were going in one place, and then we were like, nope, this isn't right.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, let's go check this out. And because I was like, yeah, you guys said this was like just kind of like a leisurely, like I used to be a big hiker.
Yeah.
I thought it was a leisurely hike, and I'm like, this is not leisurely. Like,
No.
at one point, Daisy's like, why are you going so fast? I'm like, oh, I was just trying to figure out where we were going.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a moment. We were trying to all figure it out, but boy, that summit.
Yeah.
That was nice, man. Once we got to the, it was a nice hike. And so softball, that's are you in a league too?
Many leagues, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 5.
Yeah, I see you post from time to time,
Yeah.
man. I'm like, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Pat Taylor and stuff.
Oh, yeah, Pat.
So I used to party with that kid a lot.
Yeah.
And when I saw him again was actually I went to one of Brandy's games.
Yeah.
And I saw him there, and then I think he was telling me that like you guys all get together and have like. Like I was talking about, like football Sundays. It's like
Yeah.
you guys have your own,
Every day almost.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But Matty, I really appreciate you coming on
Thank
the
you,
show.
brother.
This has
I
been a
really
blast.
appreciate it, man.
Nick, can we please talk? I know you're avoiding me in the studio. Please return my calls, my texts. I just want my stuff back on the table. So,
Gotta get Triple H's back.
and Shredder maybe.
Yeah.
But everybody have a great week. Keep your heads up. Until next time, let freedom ring.
All right. Thank you for having me. Thank you.